Bangladesh is still a developing country and rural area is very poor. The parents are very poor and it's all are happening as a result of poverty.
One of the requests that I had in visiting Bangladesh was to visit a village. And in fact, I discovered that 30 of our schools are located in villages. Village life is very different from the hustle and bustle of the big city. In fact, there are many extreme needs that become very present and real for individuals living in a village. And two of them really jumped out to me. One was child marriage, and the other one was just learning to live with loss. We met a young man by the name of Pronto. Pronto is in our sponsorship program but does not yet have a sponsor, so he's available to sponsor on our website. And so I wanted to meet a child that was still looking for a sponsor and see what their life was like. We were able to meet his family, and when I began talking with his mom, she shared with me that she was married at a young age. So naturally I was curious, how young? And she shared with me that she got married when she was 12 years old. Living in this same home is her daughter-in-law, who married her 15-year-old son, and this daughter-in-law is 14. So this is Pronto's family, growing up where child marriage for his brother, for his mom, for his sister-in-law now is commonplace. And of course that comes with all sorts of challenges. Usually that means that education stops. There's a high risk for the life of the mother when she becomes pregnant at such a young age, and also for the child that she would bear and their survivability. And so we have found and we're aware that one of the ways to break that cycle of child marriage and that cycle of poverty that happens because of it is through education. So these village schools are incredibly important to help these individuals in these communities break out of that cycle that has held them hostage. The second area challenge about village life that jumped out to me is that of loss. That was made abundantly clear through my interactions with a young man by the name of Samanto. Samanto is part of the Child Impact sponsorship program, but he does not yet have a sponsor. And as I was able to visit his home and hear more about his story, I discovered that his father had passed away and his mother had traveled to the large city, had moved to Dhaka, where she got a job in a garment factory. This means that Samanto is being raised by his grandparents, and they're doing the very best job that they can. They were so welcoming to their home and shared with me that he works in the fields to try to support the family. They are just scraping by. And so sponsorship, being able to go to a village school, is a way that gives Samanto another path for his life, some other options that he can pursue to break out of that cycle of poverty and tragic loss that he has been going through.
You can say that education is the backbone of the country. If you get educations, then people will be very much acquire the knowledge, and when they be educated, then they can support their family as well as they can know how to deal with the educated peoples. And when people of this government or the people of this country will be educated, then every family will get one person who can earn for the family, and Bangladesh will be self-support through their educations.
One of our dreams at Child Impact is to see more children sponsored. Why? It's a game changer. The path of their life is forever altered in a positive way. And so even in Bangladesh, as I go into our website and see the number of unsponsored children from Bangladesh, I have to share with them, we cannot add more children until those that we already have been sponsored. And so I want to encourage you to think about that as we look at the future and the opportunity to shape a whole society, not only in terms of leadership skills, but spiritually as well. These students come to know Jesus, and as a result, that changes their whole life now and in the future. And so sponsorship is really key for all of these things that change so many aspects of a child's life to take place.
We want to see this type of kids to be teachers, to be good moral characteristics holders, as well as they can good for the community. They can serve community, and sometimes they can also be the sponsorer. They can make other students who don't get the sponsor, they can sponsor them also. We want to teach them such a way so that they can be one day one of the sponsors for other kids who are not getting the sponsorship.
One of the most precious memories to me on this trip was at the village school where two little girls could not stop laughing. I mean, they were as silly as could be, and they laughed and they laughed. Tears are coming down their face laughing so much, and they made everyone around them laugh. Why was this significant to me? It represented that even in dire circumstances, joy can be found. These girls have next to nothing, and yet they have joy, they have laughter. And Child Impact is part of bringing that to them because they can have an education, because they have a lunch every day at school. They're able to play, there's adults in their lives who care about them. And it's so rewarding to see that joy being expressed in such a beautiful and profound way. It just made a huge impact on me. One of the important ways that Child Impact has been helping in Bangladesh is through our Rice, Health, and Education Fund. Now that fund starts with the word rice. I did not grow up as a rice kind of guy. I grew up with vegetarian burgers and haystacks, but I married into a rice family. My wife is from Brazil, and that is a staple food, as it is here in Bangladesh. And so as we began supporting a lunch program for our sponsored students, it became clear that all of the students in the schools that we support are coming to school without a lunch. None of them bring a lunch to school. Can you imagine trying to study, being in school all day long, and your stomach growling the whole time, you're hungry, you haven't had anything to eat? And so we've been able to provide some additional funding here in Bangladesh through our Rice, Health, and Education Fund. And we were able to see that and experience it firsthand as these children had plenty to eat. They had rice, potatoes, and an egg, and they just dug in with their hands right into the food. And just, you could see they were enjoying every moment of being able to have a satisfying and healthy meal to help them be able to focus on their studies and to meet this very basic need. The Rice, Health, and Education Fund used to be called Hungry Money, and that's very clear what it's about. Many people experience hunger, and children, when they go to school, it's hard, they can't focus. They get maybe even fall asleep on their desk, and they can't concentrate because they need food to eat. And so it's so important that we can meet this basic need so that all of the benefits that education can provide these children are realized. Simeon is a boy that my family has been sponsoring here in Bangladesh. And he traveled from where he lives to the big city in Dhaka to spend the day with me. And so we got to walk on the streets. We got to experience many things. For him, it was the first time to do that. And we got to spoil him just a little bit. We got a little bit of sugarcane juice for him to drink there on the street, and bought him a special treat. And then I wanted to get him a soccer jersey for his favorite team. And of course, Argentina that just won the World Cup, his favorite player is Messi, and so we were able to get him a shirt. And able to kick a ball around a little bit, ride around in a rickshaw, and it was just an amazing experience. As I interacted with Simeon, I discovered that he has 4 siblings, but 2 of them tragically have passed away due to sickness. And then our sponsorship coordinator here in this country let me know that part of the funds that Child Impact sends to support these children provide some basic medical care, and in exceptional circumstances, they contact our office for additional help. So I wondered what would have happened, what would the difference have been in the outcome had Simeon's brothers been sponsored in one of our schools. I have not really thought about sponsorship being a life and death circumstance before, but as I reflected on this personal story with a child that I am sponsoring, that my family sponsored, and his journey, I had to recognize that sponsorship does mean life and death in many cases for these children. Back in the United States, I selected Simeon based on a photo and profile. This profile shared with me certain things about what grade he's in, what school he goes to, how old he is, and even a little bit about his family. But what a different experience to meet him firsthand, to be able to put my arm around his shoulder, to be able to go and experience things with him for the very first time. And I see that sponsorship is real, that real lives are impacted. It was such a joy to spend the day with Simeon and to bring this little piece of joy to his life and know that even though I'm half a world apart, that it can be making a difference in the life of a child in such a significant way. I have a dream for Simeon, and that dream is that his dreams will come true. This is a young man who loves Jesus. He reads his Bible on his own, he keeps it by his pillow, and he says someday he wants to be a pastor. Well, that's my background. I've been a pastor and now I'm with Child Impact, but I would love to see his dream for his future not be inhibited. Rather, I would love to see an open path in front of him. And just like Simeon, I've asked many students as we visit different schools what they would like to do in the future. All of them, without exception, have a dream for their future. That dream can become a reality through sponsorship. And I'm so excited that these children, because of the sponsors that are already participating in Bangladesh, that already have students they're supporting, and because of the new sponsors that will become part of what's happening here in Bangladesh, that so many students will be able to live out and fulfill their dreams for their lives. Greetings, friends. My heart has been touched to the core by these precious children in Bangladesh. I would like to invite you to partner with Child Impact to make a world of difference for these children. One of the best ways to do that is through sponsorship. You can visit our website at childimpact.org and select Bangladesh. There you will find available children to be sponsored. I would like to invite you to partner with us in another way, and that is through our Rice Health and Education Fund. Rice is an essential food in Bangladesh. In fact, it's included in every meal. Even during the best of times, life is precarious, but when a natural disaster strikes, food scarcity becomes a major issue. Through the Rice Health and Education Fund, we are able to supplement these children's meals so that they can be provided for. Thank you for your generosity. You can call our office at 423-910-0667, or you can visit our website at childimpact.org.